Hello everyone, welcome back to SEAMRITE Fashion Academy channel once again. I'm so happy to be with you once again today. Welcome to a brand new tutorial altogether. Today will be the making of a 1080 degrees peplum. Okay, so we'll be explaining some details about the 1080 degrees peplum. So first of all, we want to talk about peplums, 360 degrees, 720 degrees, before we talk about 1080 degrees. You remember our regular peplum is the 360 degrees of pepper. When we talk about peplum or flay, we are talking about cutting our circles. Okay, when we talk about 360, it means just cutting a circle, as you can see. So how do we get the radius of this circle? That is, how do we get how many inches we'll be using to cut? Remember, we used to cut round this way, taking our measurement right from the tip. We cut out our radius. It's simply derived mathematically as circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Y pi is constant and it is 3.14. So now our circumference is the circumference of our waist, or the circumference of wherever part you want to attach the peplum or the flay or the ruffles. So for now, we want to make use of our waist circumference for this calculation. So you can see I have my circumference here, which is 2 pi r. Now we are looking for our radius. R here is equal to circumference over 2 pi. Now the radius is equal to the circumference, which is my waist circumference, which we are using, times 3.14. That is 2 pi. Pi is 3.14. That is 2 times 3.14. So at the end of the day, our radius becomes our circumference divided by 6.28. Please, I want you to look at this formula very well. That is how we got to the radius of this circle, as a full circle, as 6.28. Can you see that? Circumference means going round like a circle, circumference going round. And when we are picking up our radius, you can see the radius also, okay, which is the distance from the center of the circle to the other, to the end of each circle. From the center to the end is radius. Then the two together becomes a diameter. That is radius plus radius. 2 radius is equal to a diameter, the distance from this end to that end. So that is how we got to this peplum radius cutting. Okay, so right now when we want to cut a 360 degrees peplum, this is what we come out with. I believe you are familiar with this. So having this as to be attached to your waist, all you need to do is to split it apart this way. Can you see how I split this apart? Now, before I cut this, I've already added my zip allowance of 1 inch this way, 1 inch this way. I think you remember that. Okay, because our, just as I just demonstrated right now, you can see that our circumference, our radius, you can see how we derived our radius right away using the circumference of the waist. Now, so this time around we added 1 inch for our zip allowance, and that gets us to the radius that we used for this circle for our peplum. Now, when we talk about the 720 degrees peplum, we are simply talking about 2 circles together, as you can see. And these 2 circles together right now, they are going to share, the 2 of them are sharing the waist circumference. The 2 of them are going to share the waist circumference. Unlike this other one that only shared the waist circumference all alone. So coming over to this, we are going to also do some calculation here to show you how this is derived. For the 720 degrees, how you are going to calculate and have an accurate 720 degrees on your waistline. So coming over to the 720 degrees peplum simply means 360 degrees plus 360. When you add them together, you have 720. Alright, so this 720 means making 2 circles just like this. But how do you determine the radius? Okay, to determine the radius of these 2 circles, because these 2 circles are going to be sewn into the same waist circumference. And this time around, I have a waist circumference of 36, which I'm working with. Now, this 36, to get the radius, I'm going to use this 36, and I'm going to add my zipper allowance of 1 inch. I'm adding 1 inch of zipper. But before I do that, I need to fuse these 2 circles together. That is why you see this cutting I have here. So what am I going to do? I will simply merge these 2 together, and I'm going to sew it with 0.5. 0.5 this way, 0.5 this way. Altogether I have 1 inch for my seam allowance. So I'll quickly add that 1 inch as my seam allowance to sew them together. Then I'm going to add my zip allowance, which is the zip allowance for this 1 inch, 1 inch. And at the end of the day, I'll be having 2 inches. So all together, I'm going to divide this by 2 because I have 2 circles. So in this case, I have 39 here divided by 2. So 39 divided by 2, whichever result I have, I'll be dividing it again by 6.2. I have 19.5. So this 19.5, I'll finally divide it to get my radius. I'll finally divide it by 6.28. Okay? Please look at it very well. So I'm working with the waist circumference, adding 1 inch plus of my seam, adding the 2 circles together, 2 inches for my zip allowance. Because there are 2 circles here sharing the same waistline, I'll first of all divide by 2. Whatever result I have, I'll now finally divide by 6.28. So that is how I'm going to get my radius for a 720. Now we want to talk about 1080 degrees peplum. 1080 degrees peplum simply means it's okay. So I have 360 here times 3. That is how I come about 1080 degrees peplum. So working on the 1080 degrees peplum is also the same process with the 720. So I'm going to cut off through this line, find any midpoint and cut off on your peplum. And right now we are going to fuse these 3 into the same waistline, meaning that these 3 are going to share the same 36 inches waistline. Okay, remember 36 inches is only my own waistline. You can choose or take the measurement of your waistline to work with. So right now I want to demonstrate how you can calculate your 1080 degrees peplum perfectly and fit it into your waistline accurately. So right now you can see I have 3 circles here of 360 degrees, which is 1080 degrees peplum. So I'll be fusing these together just as I demonstrated earlier. I'll be joining these 2 circles first with 0.5 in 0.5, that is 1 inch. I'll also bring up this one again, and I'm going to also fuse it together, sew it with 0.5, 0.5, that is 1 inch. So 1 plus 1, I have 2 inches already. Now at the end of fixing this peplum, fixing this circle on my waist, I'll be putting my zip allowance. Okay, my zip allowance is 1 inch this way, 1 inch this way, that is 2 inches plus the 2 inches I had already, making it 4 inches. So coming over to my calculation right away for my radius to determine the radius I'm going to use to cut each of these circles. I have my radius here using this formula, my waist circumference, which is 36, plus my seam allowance, which I just demonstrated, 0.5 to fuse this one circle to the other circle, making it 1 inch, and 0.5 to fuse the other part, just as I earlier demonstrated, that is 2 inches. So I'll be having 2 inches here. plus my zip allowance of 2 inches, everything 4 inches. I will be dividing whatever result I have here. Okay, so adding 36 plus 2 plus 2, I have 40 inches. Now 40 inches divided by 3, that is what I have here. And the result of that 40 inches divided by 3, I will also divide it again by 6.28. So whatever result I have here, 6.28 divided by 40 divided by 3. Alright, so like I said earlier, my waist is 36. I added 2 inches seam allowance to seam the 2 circles, plus my zip allowance of 2 inches. I'll be dividing all of these by 3 because I'm working with 3 circles. So now I have 40 inches, that is the total of this is 40 inches. I'm going to divide it by 3, and I have 19.3 inches here. So this 19.3 inches, I'll simply divide it. To get the radius, I'll divide it with 6.28. Can you see that? And at the end of the day, I'm left with 2 inches. So right now I'm working with a circle, a radius of 2 inches for my 1080 degrees peplum using a 36 inches waist circumference. So all you need to do right now is to impute whatever circumference you have of your waist on this particular calculation for a 1080 degrees peplum. You'll be adding whatever your waist circumference is and follow up these calculations accordingly. So right now we are going to demonstrate on our fabric how to cut a 1080 degrees peplum. Please watch. So now 2 inches here is going to be the radius I'm going to cut with for these 3 circles for the waist of 36 inches circumference. So right now I'm making a top like this, and I need to attach my peplum from this is my waistline, and I need to attach my peplum here. Can you see where I'm attaching my peplum? So I want to cut this circle in a way that I do not need to waste my fabric. Remember, I'm cutting three circles sharing the same waist circumference. So this is my half bodice, that is the upper part of my bodice, which I have is calculation, and on this part I already have the calculation here as 17 inches. So right now I have a full length here of 26 inches, 7 inches. Okay, so what do I mean by that? To get this part, it means we have to take away 27 plus from 17, and I'll be left with 10 inches. 27 take away 17, that is the full length, take away the half length, you will be left with 10 inches. So right now we are working with 10 inches, and now we want to make use of this calculation in order not to waste our fabric. The dimension of fabric I'm going to use is equal to the length, which is 10 inches we are working with, plus the radius, which we calculated as 2 inches for the 3 circles. Then whatever thing I get here, the result, I'll multiply it by 2. So that is how we are going to get the quantity of fabric. We are talking about the quantity, that is the dimension of fabric we are going to use, the length times the width of the fabric. So right now I'll quickly impute all these figures. The length is 10 inches plus the radius, which is 2 inches. Then I have 12 inches already. So 12 times 2, I'm left with 24 inches. So we are going to make use of a fabric of 24 by 24 inches. But for this 24 by 24, remember we are going to use 0.5 to sew the upper, and we'll use 0.5 to turn this other part with the other peplum. So right now I'll be adding 1 inch to it, to 24. But I love working out this and adding 2 inches. So since I have 24 inches, I'm going to add 2 inches to it, give or take shortage, it's better you have excess than you have shortage. Okay, but at the end of the day, these 2 inches will rhyme up with the measurement, and we'll have a perfect peplum in here. All right, so let us jump into cutting our fabric so that you see how this peplum is being cut on fabric. All right, beautiful people, so you can see right now I've used the calculation I just demonstrated. You can see the calculation we just did, the dimension of fabric right now. We got 24 inches and we added 2 inches to it, and 24 plus 2 is 26. So we are taking the measurement of 26 inches on the length. You can see 26 inches on the length. Then coming to the width of the fabric, we have 26 inches as well. So that is a square. So you have to have your fabric as a square like this. So the next thing I'm going to do right away, I'll quickly fold it in 2. Can you see? I folded it in 2. I have one part folded and I have one open-ended part. Can you see that? So next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fold it again, that is in 2. And as I'm folding, I'm trying to align, making sure I have all of them together. So right now I'm going to pick up the folded part. You can see 1, 2, 3 folded parts right away. And I'm going to take the radius. Remember, we had the radius from our calculation for the 3 peplum as 2 inches. Okay, the radius for the 3 circles is 2 inches. So I'll quickly place my tape at the tip. Can you see where I'm placing my tape? Then I'll start all the way from one end. I'll make a mark of 2 inches, 2 inches. The normal way we cut at 360 as well. Okay, but this time the difference is the radius. This is divided by 3 because the 3 circles are sharing the same waist. So right now I have my 2 inches, so I'll quickly cut out the 2 inches. Can you see that? All right, so I'm done cutting it out. So remember from our demonstration of the length of the peplum. Our peplum is running on this part. Okay, this is the upper bodies we are attaching it to, and we have it at 10 inches. So like I said, we are going to add 0.5 to stitch the bodies to the peplum and to turn the other peplum on the hem. So we have altogether 11 inches. So quickly I'll place my tape. Let me turn it this way for you to see. So this time around I'll place my tape first at each end. You can see I already have 11 inches. I'll keep turning 11 inches. You see where I'm placing my tape this time, and I'll be marking 11 inches. I'll keep marking 11 inches. I'll keep marking 11 inches, and at the end of the day I have 11 inches all together. So I'll quickly connect all these circles together. I'm going to connect these circles together, as you can see. All right, so having done that, I'm going to cut out my peplum right away. So this is one of the 3 circles I'm cutting right now. Can you see that? So I'm done cutting one of my circles. So I'm going to open it up right now, and you can see what I have in here. Can you see that? Exactly what we are demonstrating. So all I need to do right now is to cut out. Remember, we are going to attach. We are attaching the waist. We are going to have 3 of these circles, just as I demonstrated on paper. So I'll be attaching one of the circles this way. I will attach the other circle this way. This is going to be at the center. Then at the end of the open-ended of the other circle, then I'll add my seam allowance. So let me quickly use this to cut out the 3 remaining circles. right, people, so for the cutting of the other remaining 2 peplum, remember we are 2 circles. Remember we are making a 1080 degrees peplum. So right now I quickly place the one I cut, the 1 circle I cut, which is the 360. I just placed it on top of my fabric unfold. You can see I folded my fabric unfold to save myself the stress of turning and cutting and all that. So what I'm going to do right now is to mark out the radius. Can you see the inner circle? I'm using my chalk to mark it out so that at the end of it, after cutting, I will cut through the chalk line. So right now I will quickly cut out, because I have my pins on top of this circle. I'm going to cut out from one end right now. I'm taking the circle, the first circle, using it to cut the second circle. Okay, so I'm going to cut. I'm cutting all around the circle, the first circle, to achieve the other circle. So right now you can see what I have in here. Can you see that? So I have 2 circles, I have 3 circles, 1, 2, and 3. Can you see that? So I'll quickly open it up right from where I opened the other. So once I get to the chalk line, I'll now cut off through the chalk line. That is the radius I marked for the 2 circles all together. Okay, so you can see as I'm cutting, I'm trying to rotate. All right, so now you can see I have 3 circles in here. I'm going to take away my pins right away to show you what I have here now. So this is my first circle, I'm taking it away. This is the second circle, and this is the 3rd circle. So at the end of the day, for this 1080 degrees peplum, I'll quickly fuse this part together like I demonstrated on paper. So I'm going to fuse 1 circle to the other this way. Okay, so I will stitch at 0.5 inch. Okay, then after that I'll put another one. I'm going to fuse another one this way, and I'll be using 0.5. Then at the end of the day, you can see I have all these circles joined together right now, forming my 1080 degrees. Then the open end for 1 circle and 1 circle is going to be where my zipper is going to be. So I'm going to have my zip allowance here. I believe you understand how this 1080 degrees peplum is calculated and cut. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. For more tutorials on how to pad this 1080 degrees peplum and how to sew it into our bodies and all that, plus other tutorials, please join us in our WhatsApp group. We have classes each month for all categories: beginners, advanced, as well as intermediate. Okay, I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. Please try and visit it. And if you are new to this channel, welcome to this channel. Please kindly hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to receive more videos like this each week. Like this video, share to family and friends. Thank you very much for stopping by. For the old subscribers as well, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.